What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be diving into some Premier Draft for Strixhaven in MTG Arena. The spin on today's draft, if you didn't read it from the title, is I did download a third-party client that is called MTG Assistant, which essentially is a client that runs like in the background. It tracks like your deck and like your chances of drawing particular cards from your deck. Personally, as a Magic the Gathering player, I actually would prefer, if you're a newer player, that you actually play Magic quite a bit before you probably devote yourself to downloading one of these tools, as if you ever decide to play physical Magic, you won't have a third-party tool to kind of give you an idea of your overall chances of drawing particular cards from your deck, helping you draft and things like that. But I thought I'd just do a little fun spin on today and just draft some Strixhaven using this tool. Drafting basically what the AI suggests is the best card from the pack that is in front of me. Essentially, the AI has a way of ranking up. Things being 5.0 is the absolute best card in the pack, and things being 0.0 are cards that you don't want to draft at all. And I'm going to make all my choices based on whatever the AI says is the highest number in that pack, and kind of seeing what kind of deck we end up with at the end. We'll play some games after we do the draft and kind of see how well the deck performs overall compared to other people's decks. With that being said, guys, if you like this style of video, hit that like button. It definitely helps out a lot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you know when I post new videos on the channel. But with that being said, let's dive into the draft and let's talk about it. Alright, so as you see here in the top left-hand corner, you kind of see what it's ranking. And right now, the AI is saying that Latent Helix is the best card from the set. So that is the card we are going to take. If you don't know, Latent Helix does 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. So overall, pretty decent removal card, and gaining some life is always a benefit, making it a pretty strong play regardless in that pack. Also, it's at instant speed, so that's definitely good. Now, the one thing I would say about draft is that sometimes when drafting against players, it can be a little bit on the slower, tedious side, just because players do actually make player choices. Most people aren't using a tool like this to kind of pick out their draft. Like I said, I don't recommend it if you're a newer player still getting used to the game. I would, draft and kind of find those synergies and things like that and go from there. All right, I'm gonna minimize that. I don't need that. All right, so what it's saying is the best card in here is the Quadrants Cultivator. All right, we are drafting what it's saying. I'm also going to change the layout so the cards are a little bigger on the screen, and I'll just pick them over there. I mean, Cultivator's not a bad card. It's a 4-mana 3/4 from Strixhaven. I actually think it's in Sultai Ultimatum, so it is a good way to kind of ramp up a little bit. Helps us kind of filter our mana. If we end up going pure Simic and then maybe splash in the white and the red. Right now we're playing 4 colors with these 2 cards. And it's saying the best card in this pack is Inkling Summoning. So we'll throw that in the sideboard for now because it's a lesson and kind of see what happens. I mean, there's no real reason to play lessons in the main board. I know we haven't got any learn cards, but typically lessons belong in the sideboard just because you might as well put more cards in your deck that are going to be worthy of playing. And you can kind of see in the left-hand corner if it's not too small, kind of like the rankings and stuff like that. Like Inkling Summon was a 3.1 out of that pack, whereas like Necrotic Fiends is a 2.7, which is not a bad removal. So Basic Companion Conjuration is the best card from it, so we'll go with that. And this is look at top 6 cards of your library, reveal a creature card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order, we gain 3 life. So not too bad. Next card up is Mage Duel, which is a good removals card for green, so actually not that bad. So far, other than the first 2 cards, everything else has been kind of interesting. Bury in the Books. Definitely a good, kind of let's bounce it. So overall, the AI is making a good choices. Target spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature, and put target creature on top of its owner's library second from the top. So it's like, not only does the card get bounced back to the player, and it actually gets put second from the top. So if it's a big creature, then they have to, redraw it eventually. Also good against fractal tokens, or tokens in general, because tokens don't go anywhere. But overall, I mean, it's an interesting Simic deck with a splash of white and red. I mean, it's also possible that we may not play the Latent Helix, just because if we end up drafting just pure Simic, if Simic's actually open at the table, we'll probably put the Latent Helix in the sideboard and just, pocket the Helix. Memory's Guidance, our Mentor's Guidance, is a good draw card. If we can get some clerics, druids, shamans, warlocks, or wizards. So So far, interesting deck. Just overall. As you can see, the power creep has gone completely down, though. That Mentor's Guidance is only a 2.8, which is a little bit above average. The Eureka Moment was 2.2. So, definitely interesting there. But it's still interesting that we're putting together some sort of Simic deck. Pest Summoning is actually the card it's saying it's a 2.8, so we'll go with that. Even though there is a Campus, which actually makes more sense to draft, like as being a person that's drafting currently blue-green, I'd probably want like something like a Campus. Curate's not bad there, Wormhole Serpent, you know, something that fits my color better. I mean, granted, Pest Summoning can work because it does splash in for green because it's the splashment of black and green, so we can choose, I guess, which one we want to play. Secured Colony is what it wants. I mean, this is actually not a bad card. It has reach 2/2 for 2. I'm very surprised it actually lasted. It's the strongest card out of it. I mean, the one downfall is with the Colony is that it is a 2/2 until you get 8 or more lands. So if you don't ramp up, it's only a 2/2, but reach is still not bad. It's definitely good to prevent flyers from flying over or slowing flyers down. Well, I can also see that the table's drafting a little bit slow too. Sometimes people draft quickly, sometimes people draft slow. It looks like there's now a card went to our person to our right, but before the person didn't even have any cards, so the packs are getting stacked up with somebody. Like someone's taking their time really thinking of what they want to draft. Frost Trickster is the card, which actually is not bad. 3.5. I mean, that's actually a pretty good card. Enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. It does untap during their untap step. It also has flying, 2/2 for 3. Not a bad card, but I mean, like I said, it honestly seems like Simic's been open at this table. I haven't seen too much in the other ways like Witherbloom or Quandrix or Lorehold. Storm Kiln Artist. The words. Sure. That is the best card. We're gonna draft that card. Has Magecraft. When we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, we create a treasure token, which is always good for mana. And then on top of it, it has +1/+0 for each artifact it controls. So overall, a pretty solid card. Can be pretty explosive, especially if you start building up like artifacts on the battlefield. Growth Spiral. Yes, we will technically take a Growth Spiral. I mean, I would say that's a pretty good card. It's a card that got banned in Standard when it was legal, but you draw a card and you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Not even tapped, just onto the battlefield. So if you have a basic land, it comes on the battlefield, not tapped. Good card. Instant speed. So we got a little bit of ramp. So we got Quandrix, we got Growth Spiral for some ramp, we got some creatures. So I mean, it's not looking like a terrible deck. I'm kind of curious what the Magic Arena AI is going to do at the end if we have like red and white cards in the deck and like how many lands it's going to suggest us to put in of each. Honor Troll made it all the way around, so yes, Honor Troll is another good pick. A good card if we can get a decent amount of life, but it gets +2/+1, it has Vigilance, it's 2/3 for 3, so it's not bad. So definitely some cards that are interesting that made it around the table. Tangle Grasp is the best one here. So yeah, it's a 0.7, but we're gonna throw in the sideboard. It's a remover for like flyers. I mean, worst case scenario, we may have to put in the deck if our AI tells us that it's not great. That's actually Lorehold Campus was left open. So Silverquill Command is supposedly the best card in this pack behind Emergent Sequence, which is another way to kind of ramp up. So I guess we got to draft the Silverquill Command. We may be playing 5 colors is basically what is happening right now. Blade Historian is making the deck, I guess. This is getting a little wild now. I'm kind of concerned of what our deck's going to turn into. Very concerned. Ifrit Flame Painter is the best card. All right, is our deck gonna make like a complete shift to Lorehold now, as Lorehold seems to be open the other way? Interesting. This is actually quite interesting. We have 15 cards and they're all over the place based on AI. I'm wondering if this is not the best set to do this with, since it is very strictly based on the various schools. But I mean, to be quite honest, most of the packs have been actually very heavily lore hold that we've opened up that have gone around. Also, the Blade Historian making it around the table are making it over like 3 picks or 2 picks is definitely very interesting. I mean, the whole thing can change, and that's why I suggest that you know, as you can clearly see, my deck list here is all over the place, and this is typically how a normal human wouldn't draft. Like if you were going very heavily blue-green in the first pack, you probably wouldn't draft half of these cards that we drafted in these more recent packs, just because like drafting this and drafting like Blade Historian and stuff like that makes no sense. All right, we're playing the Prismari Apprentice. All right, we're literally going in all in 5 colors right now. That is being a 2.7, but supposedly, you know, pro rating is 3.5. It does also list pro ratings because I guess pros, you know, weigh some other cards heavier than maybe the AI does. So it's definitely interesting to see kind of what the AI thinks and what the you know, whatchamacallit thinks, what the pros think. I'm actually quite curious on how many wins this deck's going to get if we kind of keep it in some form that it currently is. I mean, if you guys want to let me know in the comments below based on what you see here. How many wins? How many wins is this pile of cards going to get? I am not looking forward to trying to figure out the mana base for this. Hopefully, by the time we get to the 3rd pack, we draft a little bit cleaner into what colors we want. But we have literally touched... I mean, the Silver Coal Command is only the one that splashes into black, but everything else, Devouring Tendrils. Alright, I guess we're drafting that. That's probably the strongest removal, so we're getting back into green a little bit. Environmental Science is actually would be really good for our deck just because of all the crazy color that we got going on here. Help us filter our mana a little bit better. Teferi's Protection. Until next turn, your life total can't change and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. Alright, I guess we're giving our things all the protection because it's a 3.9. Also, it's randomly 92% confidence. Interesting. That one's saying it's 92% sure that is like the best card, but pros are saying like 1.0. They're actually saying the Dust Speaker is probably better. Spiteful Squad. That's a 1.7. I'm going to guess because of Death Touch, but pros think it's 2.5. It was the strongest card out of the pack based on what pros are saying, so still pretty close. Pilgrim of the Aegis helps us search for a Plains card. Even though Pill Drop Rescuer is probably slightly better because it gets things back from the graveyard. And this is pretty nice common. By turn 5, you often have something that can bring back. Prismari Apprentice, we'll take that one. It's a pretty decently high rank card. Lorehold Campus. We'll draft a land, I guess. Over the Eager First Year. Because I guess filtering mana is actually pretty good. So right now we're at 22 cards. We are 1 card away technically from having a cut. So depending on how this goes, we may actually end up going very low hold. Could end up splashing like maybe black or something. The green actually is not looking very strong here. Campus Guide. Actually a good way to filter our mana. So name the Firstborn. Okay. Spectacle Mage. And the last card. The last card of this very messy draft so far. Or, question. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to play the pile of cards. I'm going to play the whole pile. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to play the whole pile. I'm going to play 40 cards. I'll cut this down to 40. I do think the tool actually has a way to give us the best cards. Okay. Velomachris. Yes. Sign me up. 5.0 all the way. Him top decking like one of our spells off the top? Yes. Quandrix Pledge Mage. Where is it? Pledge Mage. Oh, all the way down here. Okay. I do think this tool has a thing that I can do and click the AI, and the AI will put together a deck that makes sense. So we'll do that after we're all said and done drafting. See what the best pile it will put together. most of the cards we've drafted have been pretty strong. Oh god, there's a card that was literally 0/0. Bookworm is being the top one. Bookworm's not bad. It has a good tool to kind of get itself back if it ends up, getting removed from your hand or ends up, in the graveyard in any sort of way. And you gain 3 life and draw a card, which is actually really good. Eliminate. Okay, removal. Sure, I actually don't like Silencer in this situation just because Silencer is definitely hard to figure out what your opponent's playing if they're not playing multiple copies. So if they play one thing, you're like, oh, they have that card. It's usually Creative Outburst, okay. So right now we have 11 white cards, 10 blue cards, 5 swamp cards, 13 mountains, and 11 forest cards. We are literally playing a pile of poop. Big old pile of poop. I think there's someone on the other side of the table, like on the other half, that is drafting slow because I feel like for some reason going this way is a lot slower than us going from us passing to the left to the right. It's a lot slower from going from right to left. I mean, I actually kind of like I like some of the pools we have. I mean, like Velomachris plus something like Blade Historian. I mean, that seems really good right on paper. We have a lot of rares. I'm actually now realizing, like, we do have a lot of rares, a couple mythics. Environmental Sciences is a sideboard card. I know we don't have a lot of learn cards, but that in the sideboard. That was actually the strongest card out of the whole pack. Mage Duel. I guess we'll grab another one of those. Even though Zimone is actually like right behind, like just behind. If they were tied, I probably would go to the pro rankings to see which one was higher. We have 17. We drafted 17 creatures and 19 non-creatures. So we have more spells currently in our deck than we do creatures in our pile of cards. Or just overall draft. Also, this is like one of my best ways, I think, to get like a whole array of uncommons and commons and stuff too, is doing it this way. Just because it's all over the place. Decisive Denial is actually like really good. Counter spell plus a fight spell all in one. Sign me up all day. Where is it? Yeah. Target creature fights target creature you don't control at instant speed, and then counter non-creature spell unless it's control base 3. Definitely nice utility card, I think. I don't think it makes a lot of standard play, but I feel like maybe post-rotation, maybe it'll get better. Or you lose some like key like fight spells, like ram throughs like gone and stuff like that. Snakeskin Veil is actually not a bad card, but I guess it's, Decisive Denial is just that little bit better. Alright, so our player to the right is sitting on 2 packs. Mentor's Guidance, I guess we're picking. Yeah, I tied it, but the pro is slightly better over Field Trip. Though Field Trip's stronger, I think. I think it's actually Brackish Troll. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'm scared. Exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield and control Rebound. Interesting. Unsure how that's gonna work. Pillagement Storm, sure. Defiant Strike. This is an interesting pile. 10 the Pest. And our last card. There's a pack floating around there somewhere with my last card in it. Oh, okay. Needlethorn Drake. Actually, not bad. Alright, we got some currency out of it because I own a good chunk of these cards. So, Deck Helper. So what it's saying... Alright, let's do it this way. We're going to get rid of all the cards in our deck. Alright, and let me reopen this back up. Deck Helper. So I'm going to put it on my other screen. It is saying Storm Kiln Artist. Storm Kiln Artist. Creative Outburst. over here. Prismari Apprentice 2. Environmental Sciences makes the deck, I guess, because we don't really have any learn cards. Tangle, really? Tangled Trap? Sure. For some reason, saying one of. Basic Conjuration. Okay. Campus Guide, which is over here, I saw. Growth Spiral, which is right here. Scared Colony. Scared Colony. Scared Colony. Scared Colony. Scared Colony. Right there. Needlethorn Drake, which I saw. He's hanging out over here. Bury in the Books, which I think is on the first page. Bury in the Books. Bury in the Books. Honor Troll, which I think he slid up here because I'm taking cards out. Quandrix Pledge Mage, which is the last card. Second to last card. Bookworm. Alright, let's go over here. Scroll down a little bit. Decisive Denial. It's there. Mentor's Guidance, which we are playing 2 of those. Quandrix Cultivator, which is over here. Frost Trickster. Frost Trickster. Right there. Devouring Tendrils. It's here. Mage Duel, which is here. And then, interesting, it's telling me to play a Lorehold Campus, which is interesting because we're not really playing any white, but I think it's there for the Scry. Which is actually surprisingly 2 of. And then supposedly 1 Prismari Campus, and then 7 forests and 7 islands and no mountains. Why I guess this is there to splash for that, but I guess it's saying let's not even put in any possible other way other than drawing the campuses for red, for either or. Okay, so we'll go with this. The other thing is Campus Guide can't search for, and neither can Environmental Sciences, so I mean, that's going to be an issue, I think. But, you know, the deck goes what it wants to go with, so, I mean, we'll go with what it wants us to do, and I'll bring it over here so you guys can kind of look at it. So it shows you, like, what's in your sideboard and shows you what's in your main board, and, you know, this is what it wants. A couple red cards, don't have a lot of red. I guess they're thinking possibly, like, you know, Creative Outburst will create a treasure token, which can we also be splash of blue. I mean, I think there's a lot of good cards that are still on our side that, you know, we could put in if we want to cut some other things. Like, I mean, I feel like making space for something like Spectacle Mage could be decent. E-Free Painter could be pretty good, just because I feel like we can get some of our, like, fight spells back and then allow us to cast them. But we'll kind of see how this goes. Hopefully we get some wins. It's 0 wins. Let's get into our first game. All right, playing Moros Eros. All right, we're on the play. Our hand is not great for what we have, so we're gonna mulligan. That is not much better, but we can cycle. Okay, so we have something here. Let's get rid of the basic conjuration because we don't have double green for a while. Oh, science is actually not bad. So I guess we'll science for green. Green 2. Not bad, not bad. Alright, and we draw green. And then we'll play Colony. So this is actually not bad, Devouring Tendrils, because it, like, does damage. Fair. We have a handful of stuff that can't do anything. I mean, I guess we can draw a card, but I don't think it's good in this position, so we'll kind of hold our hand open. Throw a Spiral, nice. That's actually a good card. Nice way to filter mana. If they can gain some life, they can produce a lot of mana. Bookworm is a long ways off. I guess we draw. Yes. We'll draw our island so we don't miss land for turn. Mostly go. I feel like I may cycle this just so I get the token, so I'm land closer to playing Bookworm. Would probably be my play here. Hoping they don't have any other removal. All right. Okay. It didn't let me cycle, did it? Oh, I didn't have blue open. That sucks. I was like, it just kind of skipped. And I'm like, oh, I have to have blue open in order to do it. But I guess I tapped all my blue to do everything. Yeah, this is not going great for us in this one. Professor, that's fine. I might as well just do this now. Oh, Campus Guide's good. We have a nice little chump blocker. Did I get my math right? Oh, that's 8 mana. Man, I am terrible at this. Yeah. We could fight something, but it's not going to help us in this situation. I kind of want to see what our breakdown is of creatures and non-creatures. Yeah, I guess I block one of the 4 drops because, I mean, they're the biggest things. Yep, got a big old fractal. That's great. Ooh. This is not a great game for us in this one. And of course they had the removal for it. Did not go off onto a good start there, just because of all of the us getting really like limited on creatures. I feel like the deck didn't have a lot of creatures in it. I kind of want to open it up real quick and just kind of see what the breakdown is. 11 creatures, 12. We have 12 instants and sorceries. So yeah, we're more on the heavy on the land side, but I don't think it's that bad because a lot of our cards in our deck help us thin our deck out. I don't like Tangle Trap, but you know, for the sake of keeping it what the AI is telling us to play, I'm not going to touch it. Also didn't help that we had a mulligan because we had a very like not really good hand for what we had. A lot of blue spells in the initial hand with green mana and then blue mana. We're on the play. Yeah, we can keep this because we have Growth Spiral and things like that. So good ramp, a little bit of draw. Definitely good overall in that idea. This is definitely like a better hand than the last game. Our opponent had a really good deck, it seemed like, too. Okay. I'm actually not going to play the creature. I'm going to play the Growth Spiral at the end of turn. Just because ramping up, I think, is bigger here. And it looks like they're playing also, like, a Simic-style deck. Yeah, I guess we play the Drake, and then we play the Colony. It's not gonna make them want to attack into this. I mean, granted, she can actually make them play lands from their hand onto the battlefield, which is not bad. All right, we got a mage. Interesting. They have a spell to give a protection. So is Death Touch. Okay. That's fine. I honestly feel like you probably could have put that in a better position than that, but I guess they had a -4, -0, and now they're learning. I don't think they drew a land. Or no, I'm up a mana because I played a Growth Spiral. Never mind. Never mind. I guess we'll get a mana with our own. I mean, mana is actually good for us because if we get closer to 8, we can actually play, you know, some big things, and this becomes our secure colony becomes bigger. Nah, I don't need. I'll probably draw more land. That's actually not that bad. No tax. Decisive Denial is actually pretty good. I mean, granted, we don't have any mana open for it, so that's kind of bad, but I don't think it's too bad in our situation. Sure. Our opponent's playing the multicolor, like playing more than 2 colors. So, interesting. Get a land. Interesting. They're going for the tap down. I mean, I'll take the 3. I'm up to 20. I'm at 22, so I mean 3 damage is not big in this position. Yeah, I guess I turn him sideways, right? I turn him sideways and I can either fight or counter target spell. So I actually like that in this position. Depending on what they play. Because I think next turn, 2 more turns? What does that become? A 2, a 3, 3? Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there was a window to react to that. Drawing a lot of land. Lots and lots of land. Interesting. I guess they don't have a land. They're at 5 mana, 6 mana. We're gonna have 6 mana. Turn them sideways. What are you gonna get base power and toughness to? Alright, well they learned and I got a 0. It's fine, but nothing died in the process, so I'm happy with that. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll do. They got a fractal summon in so they can get a big summon next turn. So that's a 4/4, which is not bad. Now we got an honor troll. They have a counter. Yeah, auto pay. Interesting. No tax. We'll keep the big creature up. Make them play the summon in to be like their only way to get through. I mean, that's probably what they're gonna do, because what they can get a 6/6, or no, they can get a 5/5. Now, if I had that draw card, it'd be actually pretty good in the spot. Oh, okay. We'll get the Trickster. I guess we play the Frost Trickster and we tap that down. And then we'll say go. Because, I mean, we're not going to attack into a 3/3, and then, of course, I don't want to leave my 4/4 open. That's where the card advantage is going to happen. That's what we're missing in this deck right now, is we don't have any card advantage. Though, I mean, I can block pretty well currently. Alright, yeah, this is not bad. Let's swing in for 2 in the air. Let's keep our blockers up. I'm going to bury in the books their token, which is actually real big for us. I mean, this outburst is just going to sit in our hand, I guess. Because, I mean, I have 8 mana, but I'm not going to... At this point, I don't need to dump all the stuff into the top of my library. Sure. Turn them sideways, got it. Drawing a lot of cards. Okay. Getting wide. That's good. Are they attacking, though? Tapped out. So yeah, we'll see you later. That is not what I want. So I guess they have a handful of spells is my best guess here. Because, I mean, they decided to make copies of Lumimancers. Sure. I mean, there's possible that they may just hold off and, like, not attack in if they don't have a bunch. That's a big spell. Sure. I mean, we drew 9 of our lands, and we have 1 that we actually, like, shuffled that we can see. Like, they can attack in, but... Is that the... I'll block with 2, and I mean, if they have another spell to reduce the power, good on them, I guess. But, I mean, they only have 4 power. So, I mean, unless they power it up more, they're going to lose it. So I honestly think it's probably not the best attack on their part. Plus, they gave me the flyer. Interesting. All right, more land. Top deck for days. I think everything else stays at home, and they probably attack him with the 7-drop in this situation. Huh. We're just in like a land flood, to be quite honest. Like, we're just stuck drawing, I think. Yeah, we drawn quite a few lands. But I think we only play 17, so I mean, we've drawn 10 of our lands. Interesting. I'll take 7. I'm not, I mean, maybe next turn it matters, but this turn doesn't matter as much. Sure. Alright, Mage Duel is an okay spell. Doesn't help me 100%. But, I mean, it's something. And I gotta do it now because of sorcery speed. Well, Mage Duel, probably this one, and I'll pay the 2. So I'll get rid of the one that's a 3/1 because this one right now is a 1/3. Maybe they have a spell. I don't know. It just stinks that I have a card that has double red in it and I have not drawn red mana but I only have 3 of them in the deck that are dual lands that come into play tapped. So it doesn't help me in the situation at all. Yeah, this means they don't really have much if they're playing it like this. Because if they had more, they probably would have you know, done something with other creatures and been more aggressive. Like a Bookworm would be really good in this situation. Bookworm could like definitely help me out, give me a little bit more. But unfortunately, we cannot draw. We can just draw lands. And this is why we probably most likely lose this match right now, because all we've drawn for like the past 3 or 4 turns are just lands, which is just nothing compared to I feel like our opponent's just been drawing heat. Yeah, I think that's lethal. That's 9. Yeah, I can only block 4. I can only block 7 at most. Attack with everything. You have lethal. Everything you win. Because that's, if I block here, that's 5. That's 5, 9, 12, 13. I'm not sure as to, unless our opponent's going to pump things. I don't know. They had lethal right there. So that's where math is very beneficial to us. Oh wow. All right. Well, I will say this: the deck is not working the way it is currently constructed, personally, and we've lost 2 in a row. So because of this, I'm gonna just add in some red mana because I think the deck needs red mana, if it wants me to play red cards. So we're gonna go to a mountain. We're gonna add we're just gonna add in 3 mountains. We'll get rid of a couple. We'll get rid of a couple islands and a forest, and we'll go with that. I just think having the ability to get red mana, not in basic form, with cards that help us search for cards in basic form, is the way to go. I mean, is it going to make the deck better? I don't know. It's definitely taken a while to find people. Maybe not many people are playing Strixhaven. Oh, there we go. It's also like I'm like silver rank, and I'm sure it's trying to find like people similar to my rank. All right, we're on the play. I actually like this hand a bunch, like a bunch. Like this is like the first hand I think I've drawn that is like, this looks like promising because we have red mana. So it's like we have the mana, we have a way to put mana on top of our library. Like we're wheeling and dealing here. I probably should have gotten a second red mana because I really just need 2 to make all the cards in my deck work. We're also matching up against very similar color schemes these past 2 matches. Also, the same exact, I feel like the same exact play. Yeah, we'll play the forest, and we'll say go. We're gonna save these because that's a shaman. I believe, yeah, we get an extra copy if we have a shaman on the battlefield. So getting extra artifacts from this is gonna be real big. What's actually really crazy from last game is we drew 10 lands out of our 18 or 17 lands we play. We didn't draw any of the dual lands. I mean, they're like, we only have 3 total, but still. Though I feel like our opponent last game wasn't playing much removal. Also, I don't understand why they're in the think tank. Are they considering tapping it to play more mana? All right, Dragon's Guard Elite. That's a good card. You have a land? Why did you tap? It's fine. People are learning. We'll swing in with 2 because I'm sure they're not going to want to trade. Because their idea is that they want to have a card that has Magecraft, and it's going to get really big because Dragon's Guard Elite gets really big, especially if you have a lot of Magecraft. Also seems like our player may be a little bit newer, just because they didn't understand what the what exactly Zimone did. Okay, that's unfortunate. That kind of ruins my plan. Also, they didn't attack. Interesting. We'll play a basic Conjuration. We'll get a Kosari Pride Mage. That's actually really big. We'll attack with a 2/1 because I don't mind losing it. Alright, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe they have a fight spell. I mean, a fight spell would be really big for them in this situation. Because if we untap, I mean, next turn's a real big turn for us. Okay. I don't have any blockers, so they're holding priority for something. Another one. Nice. Interesting. So we'll play Quandrix here because that's a good card here. If they counter, it's okay because I mean I have the mana open. I don't think there's a counter in the format right now that is going to help them in that situation. Well, the question is... I think I still get the copies, though, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I still get the copy. I don't need that. And then we'll do this, and we'll autopay. And we'll get rid of it, so that's not a worry. Then they're going to sit back on defense now, which is not bad for us. I offer them the 2/1 again if they want to block. This card's actually become like in my personal opinion, if I was the opponent, I would have not blocked, taken the 2, or blocked with the 1/1. Just because she will be like the way to dig deeper into your deck later in the game. Yeah, we play this, and we play that, and we say go. Because now we can scry it every turn. Interesting. Their sequence is a little weird. I guess they're waiting to see what I was doing, but I mean, if you're not going to attack, I guess, it's like maybe you should just kind of, and we'll go again. We'll say go again, just because I think burying the books is much better. I'm kind of intrigued in what they're going to do here, though. As to attackers, my land holds priority, so it's like they probably don't think anything of it. I mean, they play counters, so That's fine. We'll let the 3/1 hit. I'm not really worried. I'm just gonna lore hold again just to scry. That's fine. We'll scry. That's actually sweet. The Tangle Trap is in the deck and we drew it. So I guess GG's us that we actually can kill something that's flying. And I guess we can swing in for 2 unblockable, right? It can't be blocked this turn if this spell had mana cost 5 or greater. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yes. Ooh, we hit for 2. All right, we're getting through. Sure. Yep. We got ratioed. I mean, I could have buried it in the books at any time, but I just didn't think that's the time or place to use it. Pass to attackers? Do they want to attack with their 4/2? And their 5/5? No? I'll take 4 again. I'm not really worried about my life total. I'm not in a position that I feel like my board presence is okay, and I'm filtering the top of my library pretty good. It deals damage, right? Yeah, it deals damage. Gain 2 life. Awesome. Alright, let's see how they block this now that they're in their situation. Okay. That's fine. How do you want to block, sir? That is unblockable. Still unblockable. Yeah, we'll go with it. It's fine. We'll hit him for 2. We'll do the same to them on their turn. We'll put their 6/6 on the bottom of their on the second from the top. Awesome. Now the question is, do I scry? I think I scry anyway, sack these because I don't have the whatchamacallit in my deck anymore. Just to kind of see what's on top. Trickster's good because that actually slows them down. So we'll play Trickster. We will actually play it on this because that is that can be doubled, and this will then limit them wanting to attack in with their waterfall aerialist because it's only a 4/2. All right, they also drew their Trickster, drawn very similar. Pass to attackers. Interesting, turn them sideways. Very bold. I will take that block. Our life total is getting a little low now, so I think that's actually the play. Vortex Runner. They now have unblockable. That's great. And they're gonna hit for 6, 9. I think that's yeah, that's lethal, I think. Opponent actually played very well. They top deck very well. So we're just get out of here. I mean, I think I see the line. I mean, I'm hoping to see the line, but they just have to attack him with their 2 flyers and that. But I mean, with that being said, I don't think the AI drafted our deck very well. You know, it didn't have enough oomph, I think, for what Strixhaven needed. I mean, sure, We drafted some good cards, but when they put them together in a deck, they didn't work out, unfortunately. With that being said, guys, if you liked the video, hit that like button. It definitely helps out a lot. If you're new here, when I post new videos on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But with that being said, let's die. I'll see you in the next Magic the Gathering video.